right-hand corner of the map, currently up 2-0 in this best-of-3 scenario. From Team MYM, it is Dragon. And the bottom left-hand corner of the map, as our red Protoss player, we have WhiteRa choosing the map Cloud Kingdom. You know, we've seen him play the last 2 games. We've talked about his decision-making. What do you think he needs to do this game specifically to be able to turn this around?
Oh yeah, like I said, his strategy was okay for me. It's just the way he handles the eras that was not good enough, where he lost a couple, too many probes, and he lost so many time. I think, yeah, just focusing on trying to hold, and also opening Stargate. Like I said, you're directly countered if you face quick factory play. So he even scouts that. Like, if you open Stargate and you haven't scouted to try to get some extra minerals, I understand. But now he scouted and he saw factory, so you should never go for oracles in that case. You should not play Stargate. So I really hope that WhiteRa will do something different this game. If he opens Robo and 3-gate and expand, you know, standard, I definitely think he should do a lot better than in previous games.
All right, we'll have to see what goes on. In Dragon's End, he is actually not opening with a gas this game. So all 3 games, he's done a slightly different opener, and this time he's going for just the 1 barracks expand, it looks like. Don't see a second barracks. No SCVs on the map to put 1 down somewhere hidden. So looks like he'll just be expanding on WhiteRa's end, doing the exact same thing as well. He's done all 3 games. Isn't really changing up his opener, which is fine. You know, unless you're doing some form of proxy early on, you know, the Protoss openers really don't change that much unless you go for some form of Nexus first shenanigans, and we'll just have to see how the game develops from here.
And you see this second pylon on the right side of the WhiteRa's base. Protoss is never used to do that, but now we need to be so much more aware of all of those possible drops that might come our way compared to Wings of Liberty. So you're gonna see a lot more of that, pylons being made everywhere, and yeah, just trying to abuse the possibility of scouting to prepare better against everything that might be thrown at us. This is very important, but yeah, actually in this game not gonna be too important. WhiteRa did scout, there was no gas, and I think he saw the command center. So from there, I mean, if I was him, I would be very happy, because this command center opener is much easier to play against than the quick factory opener.
Now, we do see that WhiteRa has opened for the double gas, but he's only got 2 guys in 1 gas and 1 guy in the second. Do you think he's just going to be going for a fast Nexus off of this with the amount of guys he has in gas, or should we still be seeing some form of Stargate play from him?
Yeah, I think he definitely wanted to go for the quick Nexus, and Dragon read that very well. And that's why he made the engineering bay and the expansion. That's going to delay the Nexus of WhiteRa a lot. And this might trigger something different from WhiteRa, even though right now he's still on 2+2. Dragon... Oh, wow. I thought I saw... Oh yeah, never mind. He's just getting a bunker to be safe. And he's gonna start adding extra... Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. He wasn't using his money, so he's gonna throw down an engineering bay and a command center. So he knows that WhiteRa has 2 gases and that his expansion is delayed by a lot. So what can WhiteRa do with 2 gases and a delayed Nexus? Stargate or DTs. Both of them are countered by turrets. And Dragon, he just wants to be able to secure his 3rd orbital, make SCVs continuously, and then from there he can go into triple barracks, get enough bio out to defend against anything. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he starts making a couple turrets here soon. He takes two of his gases. You see he's making 1 in the main, 1 in the expand. He's expecting oracles for the 3rd game in a row, but that's not gonna be it. And that's good and bad for WhiteRa, because he's not going for oracles, he's not gonna have to face turrets, but Dragon is gonna have his 3rd orbital very quickly here in this game.
Yeah, and if this goes unscouted, you know, Dragon's going to be able to take a nice economic lead really early on in the game. But we are seeing a change-up in WhiteRa's style. He does have that robotics facility. Hopefully he'll go for that observer first. Kind of oversaturated right now in his main base. Would like to see him transfer now that his natural Nexus is finishing. Some of those probes down, get to you know, the 60 bots, and that's exactly, you know, what he's done, transferring some of these probes over. And nice play so far from both players. Robotics Bay really quick here from WhiteRa. I haven't really been seeing too many Colossus timings. What are your thoughts on this, Todd?
I don't know how WhiteRa knows, but this is one of the direct counters to a very quick 3rd command center. So I think WhiteRa is anticipating a very quick 3rd command center here. And I was actually wondering, because he took the 3rd gas at his expansion very fast. Like he had almost no probes there, so it had to be something like that. And yeah, seeing him now throw down the robotics bay, he's gonna wanna start making Colossi and chrono boosting only his Colossi until he has 2 or 3, and then hit a big timing if he has a couple more gates. And I think this could be deadly, especially if he has his Mothership core there ready to time warp a couple units, so that they can't move around nearly as easily. You see Dragon, he didn't even start his factory, and we have the first Colossi on the way already.
Yeah, without that factory, he's going to have the delayed starport, not able to get out Vikings at all, not able to get medevacs to help keep his bio up. His only defense is going to be the bio units on the ground and these bunkers. You know, you're exactly right. This is going to be very scary for him to hold off. First Colossus is almost out. He's chrono boosting out the Colossus and the Thermal Lance. Additional gateways being added on. And yeah, you're right. If this timing hits 2 to 3 Colossus, handful of gateway units, especially with the Mothership core mixed in, this could be too hard for Dragon to hold off. Now, the time warp only affects movement speed, so you know the attack speed of any of the units isn't affected. Any of the units in the bunker will still be hitting as fast as possible, but without any starport units, this is definitely going to be a tough hold for Dragon.
Yeah, Dragon right now is making SCVs continuously. He thinks WhiteRa is going to head into a macro game again. WhiteRa takes very often those third bases. He very rarely all-ins on 2 bases, but I think Dragon is in for a treat here, because WhiteRa is adding on a lot more gates. He has his second Colossi on the way, and I'm curious to see if he waits for a third one or if he goes for it. He has an observer in position. Oh, White Dragon! If he moves down this ramp here, he might get force fielded and lose a lot of units. WhiteRa sees it. He's gonna have to force field very well if he wants to be able to get rid of this army very effectively. Nice time war being used on a lot of those units. Dragon knows he cannot escape. He's just gonna fight this army head on. They actually trade pretty decently here. I mean, he's killed the 2 sentries, he's killed a couple stalkers, he's gonna kill one more. He's gonna lose the remainder of those marauders, but I mean, Dragon, he can reinforce from a lot of gates here, and I think Dragon should realize now what he's facing, but somehow he's still playing like there is no attack headed his way. He's still taking his third. He's gonna start losing his turret here, and okay, he's finally placing some SCVs ready to repair those bunkers. He's gonna start bumping tanks actually, which is very smart because they start with siege. If he can get 2 or 3, he might be able to defend against this. He's getting Vikings out of a starport without the reactor, so it's just going to be 1 by 1 for now.
It's a good point. The siege tanks might be what he needs, but the Colossus going straight into that main base. There is the Viking there. No anti-air. They're going to start taking damage. He's immediately going for that siege tank on the high ground. One of the Colossus at half health. The stim from the low ground as well. WhiteRa being a little too greedy there. Going to lose both of his Colossus, it looks like. It's so low in HP. Mothership, of course, taking a little bit of shots from that Viking, but the last Colossus does fall. And I feel that was almost like a pretty big mistake there from WhiteRa doing that. He lost his Mothership core as well. You know, what was looking like a very good engagement for WhiteRa, all he's going to really do is force this third base to lift off.
Yeah, he should have taken his time. I don't know why he ran in like that with his 2 Colossi. For sure they were going to die. He should have just kept on sniping those bunkers. When SCVs come to repair, snipe them, and keep stalkers nearby to defend against those Vikings. He should have just ignored the tanks for some time. If there is a tank on the upper ground, he can just move on there and snipe it with either his Colossi plus his stalkers or just his Colossi. And you see Dragon, he's hiding a command center on the top left here. He does not want to fight against WhiteRa's army head on just yet, so he's just going to try to camp a little bit more. But WhiteRa is going to move in with more units here. He has only 1 Colossi, but a couple stalkers and sentries as well. Some zealots. He's using Guard and Shield very well. Trapping a couple of Dragon's units here. Dragon is playing a little bit reckless with his units here, losing a few extra units for nothing. He's finally going to pull SCVs, and WhiteRa is pulling back. He's going to take a third. He's got 2 forges, so he's going to start upgrading behind this, and he's throwing down the Templar Archives, which is a brilliant move right now. He's delayed the third of Dragon from landing. He has resumed pro production. He's on 57 to the 63 SCVs, and I think he's just stabilized himself again in this game.
Take a look at that income tab again, 63.59, very close. Mule's landing at this 4th base. If this 4th base in the top left goes unscouted, technically it's its 3rd base right now, whereas Dragon has not retaken his 3rd. But if this base goes unscouted for a long time, the amount of mules he sends here, just the amount of mining he gains, can be too much for WhiteRa to deal with. Now, an interesting thing that WhiteRa is doing is he's mixing in Immortals into his composition. What are your thoughts on the Immortal in this late game, or this mid-late game composition for WhiteRa?
I think it's very smart, because you get Immortals like this when you know you're facing tanks, and also he's open Colossi. So he anticipates a lot of Vikings, and he hopes there's going to be a lot of Vikings. And if that's the case, he's only going to have 1 Colossi to be killed from those Vikings, and then he's going to have only ground with Storm, against most likely no Ghosts again. So I think WhiteRa, I mean, I like his position in this game, definitely a lot better than in the previous games. If he just turtles, does not overcommit to any attacks just yet, like he did in previous games, if he does not lose carelessly units out on the map, and he gets a couple Templars out, I definitely think he has a big shot attacking this game.
Yeah, you know, we talked, like you said, we talked about in the other games how, you know, his strategies have been pretty solid overall. It's just, you know, the small decision making he's done, that, you know, the missed micros that are really throwing him off. But hopefully he'll be able to turn that around here. This is a pretty solid composition from him. Storm's just about to finish. He has 1-1 finish for his units. Bio has a +1 attack. Mech has 1-1 as well. A lot of units here. This is going to force WhiteRa to back off. A lot of units here for Dragon. Storm is just about to finish. That's what WhiteRa needs for this engagement. How many medevacs with this army? Only 1. So not too many, or you know, the medevac count not going to be too high. The bio, you know, they can't overstim, and a lot of reinforcements here for WhiteRa. Here we go. Siege tanks sieging up. The units are charging forward. Will the storms go down? One nice storm goes on all the bio, landing on the siege tanks as well, and WhiteRa is going to pummel through here. 3 immortals still alive, devouring all the immortals, devouring the siege tanks, and WhiteRa going to crush the army of Dragon.
Yeah, WhiteRa completely crushing through right now, actually. Yeah, it was a very nice fight for him. I wish he would stop bringing his Mothership Core into his army like this this late into the game, just because he's just gonna die every single time instantly. But WhiteRa, he's gonna counter-attack on the 3rd base of Dragon, or at least the base that he thinks is the 3rd. He's actually, he might be overcommitting here a bit. Dragon does not have that much, but WhiteRa completely ran in. He has those 3 immortals. They are going to do a lot of damage. The tank is going to die immediately here. And I think WhiteRa should be able to kill a lot of SCVs here, as well as the army of Dragon. Dragon's lost everything. He's below 100 supply. And WhiteRa is on 126. WhiteRa doing very well right now in this game. He's on 1-1 upgrades. 2-2 is on the way. He's going to warp a lot of Templars on the left-hand side of the map. He's going to most likely morph them into Archons and add a lot more Zealots extra to help on tanking. But yeah, WhiteRa, he definitely needs to scout this top left base if he wants to make sure he does not let this game slip away from his hands.
Take a look at that income tab, 76 to 57. WhiteRa killed 27 SCBs this game. That's an insane amount. Making sure this 3rd base doesn't land. The Immortals having 14 kills amongst them. A lot of damage done there. Needs to be careful though. A lot of siege tanks he's walking into. No medevacs in this composition. Dragon adding on more Vikings just for the threat of the Colossus being there. A lot more Zealots reinforcing, a few High Templar and Archon, and looks like WhiteRa is going to try and bust into the natural base. He's got Alliance. Immortals are being attacked. Stim is been used. One of the Immortals gets very low. Storms go down, stopping up a lot of these units. The siege tanks in the back, nice spread on them so far, but there are 4 Immortals in this composition just plowing through this army. All 4 still alive. The Archon's doing so much damage now. Another nice storm goes down for WhiteRa, and he is just running straight to the natural base of Dragon, and it doesn't look like he might be able to hold on much longer. The 3 Archons still have so much of their shield energy left. SCVs being pulled. Immortals still alive, all 4 of them. Dragon losing so much in supply right now.
And you know, 2-2 kicked in, 2-2 upgrades kicked in at the beginning of this fight, and it really helped here. Having those great upgrades as well as Storm. I mean, when you have Archons, Templars, Immortals, if there is no Ghost against you, you're not supposed to lose. Unless there is Mass Air, maybe, but that wasn't the case here. So WhiteRa finally playing a real game, playing what I expect him to play, and crushing Dragon completely in this 3rd game. This series might go very differently from now if WhiteRa keeps this up.